In this practical, we are going to be showing a chick trying to avoid the eggs that are coming continuously on its way. So every time the egg comes on its way, it needs to jump. And every jump it makes, there is a score which is maintained. And if at all by mistake the egg hits the cheek, the program stops. Okay, so how do we go about with this? The first step that we're going to do is we are going to delete this current sprite that is there. So we delete the sprite and we insert a cheek. Okay, so for that we go to search, we say cheek, and we'll place it here. At the same time, we will also change the background. We'll take blue sky. Okay, now the cheek is placed at a particular position, 200, negative 135, negative 200. So when the flag is first clicked, the cheek first needs to go to this position. So I go to, it gets captured. The same position is captured in the go to statement. So when the flag is clicked, the cheek will always start at this position. Now we need to make the cheek to jump. So when the space key is pressed, I'm going to do the coding. When the space key is pressed. So every time the space key is pressed, I want the cheek to jump up. Now, on the stage there are two coordinates, x coordinate, y coordinate. The x coordinate takes care of the horizontal movement, left to right, right to left. The y coordinate takes care of the up and down position, the vertical position. So right now the cheek needs to be jumping up and down. So we need to take care of the vertical position. So the change y. So go to motion and we have this change y. So I'll pull this here. Now if at all I just click on change y, you will notice that the cheek will move by 10 points on top. So every time I click on it, it is moving upwards. And if I do a negative 10, it will come downwards. So we want this to happen continuously. So I will put it repeatedly for some number of times. So I will first want it to go on top, up jump. So I will say repeat this for maybe 15 minutes. 15 times, sorry, 15 times, not minutes. Repeat it for maybe 15 times and link this here. So when I press the space key, it needs to go on top. So it has gone on top. I press the space key. Now it needs to come down. So negative 10. I'll duplicate the same code and instead of 10, I'll make it negative 10. So now I'm pressing the space key. It has to go up 15 times and come 15 times down. So that's how it works. Next step, I need to introduce the egg. So I need to bring the egg in the picture. For that, I need to go to sprite, choose a sprite, say egg. Okay. This egg needs to go from this corner, glide to this corner continuously. So I will place it at the starting position first, that is say around 230. Stick it in. Okay, negative 145. So if I go to now motion, if I go to motion, 230 negative 145 is already captured. So the initial position is already captured. And I wanted to glide to this position here. So let me glide it to this position here. Again, I just make this 230 only so that it goes in a straight line. Glide to this position here. So from here, initial glide to this position. And when this should happen? When the flag is clicked. So when the flag is clicked, but we want it to happen continuously. Okay, it needs to go and come, go and come. So forever it needs to be done. These two statements need to go in a forever loop. So if I run now, it should work. Okay, now, so it's gliding very fast. Let's increase the number here. You can take care of the speed by the seconds over here. Okay, 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds. I set it to 4. Now, at the same time, let's take care. If the egg touches the cheek, what has to happen? So when flag is clicked, let me take another one. Wait until that is here. Wait until here. Wait until check whether it is touching. Wait until touching, not mouse pointer, but the cheek. And if it is touching, go back to your control and stop the entire program. Stop all. So let us run this. So if it touches the cheek, the whole program should stop. Fine. Now the next step, I need to introduce another egg. So I'll right click on this current and duplicate it. So I get another egg here. So if I run, the code for both the eggs right now is the same. Okay. So if I run, both the eggs are actually overlapping each other. I need to separate them. So I'll go to the second egg and I'll tell it to wait for 1 second before it starts. This is the second egg. I'll tell the egg to wait for 1 second, and while it is waiting, let it go in hide position. So for 1 second, let it hide. Or let's say 2 seconds. 2 seconds, let it hide. Hide for 2 seconds and only show it once the 2 seconds are done. So 2 seconds the first egg comes, then after 2 seconds the second egg will appear. I have not changed the code for the first egg. So the first egg will start at that position, glide and start gliding. After 2 seconds, this fellow is also there but is hiding. Then he appears after 2 seconds. So the code remains the same. If we run the program now, if I have a space key, it works fine. Now I need to keep track of the score. So to go to score, I go back to cheek. I'll introduce a variable here. Make a variable score. So I need to set the score to 0 initially. So let's set the score to 0, not my variable but score. So immediately when you do this step, the score appears over here. And every time the cheek makes a jump, change the score by 1. So now if it run the program, every time it makes a jump, it needs to increase the score by 1. And by mistake, if the egg touches, it will stop.